Hello and welcome to Random Dice. A spicy new patch was just dropped that completely changed how co-op works. Also, there were 4 new die added and some rebalances. And one of the new die in particular, the cracked growth dice, I think is super good. Like, not just as a temporary replacement for growth, but I think it's just good enough to be used alongside it. So what the cracked growth dice does is, after a duration, it turns into a random die 1 pip higher, just like the growth die, but sometimes it can do an oopsie and go down 1 pip. So if it's just a 1 dot, it just deletes itself. But let's get to the main point of this video, the stars. They received a small buff during this patch, very slightly, but buffed. And of course, I'm always watching the star dice, because I think it's super fun. So if you also think the star dice is fun, you're in luck because it seems to be pretty good right now. So the buff is, instead of needing 4 die to make a constellation, you only need 3, but that's not the big deal. The big deal is, with the new growth die, getting the full board of stars is much more consistent. And the big obstacle for most decks, the knight, comes earlier, meaning he has much less life. So now, just more decks in general can beat knight, which is great. So this isn't some super secret star tech. A lot more die are capable of killing knight now, but stars are just funny. Just as soon as you get a full board, you just pew 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 and everything dies forever. Stars they just one-shot the bosses, and it makes me smile. But yeah, stars are cool. My ally's also using the new landmine die, but I don't think it's that good. At least nowhere near as good as Random Divine Sword. So I'm pretty sure landmine's still dead. Also in this patch, combo dice got a pretty hefty hit to attack speed. I did a couple co-op games with them, but I mean, since the new patch changed how tickets are given out, I just ended up getting more than I usually did before, so whatever. And I don't use them in PvP anyway, so I don't care. Yeah, I know I stopped talking about the stars, but they're pretty AFK easy, so yeah. Oh, and the new cracked growth dice. If it is a 7 pip dice, it can indeed devolve into a 6 pip dice, so that's super pog. So the cool thing about stars is their main damage comes from their ability, not the actual tower itself. So bosses like Silence or Eye don't affect their damage, which is great because after wave 35 you start getting hit with 2 bosses at a time. And unfortunately, these don't just get one-shotted, so you actually have to deal with mechanics. But eventually, you have to fight Knight, and then he ruins your board, and then you lose because Knight is dumb. So what do you think about the new patch? I think it's pretty damn sweet. But for now, I'm gonna open some boxes. Until next time.